Hello guys, welcome back to Maths with Arjun channel. In the previous video, we have completed exercise 6.3 of class 8's Maths NCERT, chapter square and square roots. In this video, we are going to start with the further concepts. So without wasting any time, let's jump into the video. So it says finding the square roots by other method, that is division method. When we use it, when numbers are large, we use division method to find the square roots. Otherwise, we can use the repeated division method as well as prime factorization method. So how we do it? There are few steps. So let's see each step one by one. So we have taken the number 529 and we have to find its square root. So first step says place a bar over each pair of digits starting from the digit at the ones place. If number is odd, then leftmost single digit 2 will have a bar. For example, in our case 529 is odd. So from the unit place we select 2 pair, that is 29, and one digit is left, that is 5, and that we put as another bar. Next step is find largest number whose square is less than or equal to the number under the extreme left bar. So then take this number as the divisor and quotient with the number under the extreme left bar as dividend. Finally divide and get the remainder. So most extreme left bar is 5. So we know that 2 square is the nearest. So 2 square is 4 and 5 minus 4, remainder comes as 1. So next step is bring down the number under the next bar to the right of the remainder. Here the next number to the right is 29, so bring 29, and so the new dividend is 129. Now double the quotient, that is double 2, that is 4, and enter it on its right. Next step is guess a largest possible digit to fill the blank which is on the right side of 4, which will also become the quotient digit. So in our case 43, 3 would become 129 and remainder would become 0. So in this case 43 into 3 is equal to 129 and get the remainder, which becomes now 0. So finally square root of 529 comes out to be 23. So let's see some of the applications of this. It says find the least number that must be subtracted from 5607 so as to get a perfect square. Also find the square root of perfect square. So let's find the square root of 5607 and see what we should subtract to get a perfect square. So 5609 is even number, so making 2 pairs, one as 07 and one as 56. We know that 7 sevens are 49 and remainder comes as 7. Bring down the other part, that is 07 downwards, so it becomes 707. Next step, we know that double the divisor, so which is 7 2s are 14 and on the right hand side is a blank. We know that 144 4s are 576, which is the largest possible number. and finally the remainder comes out to be 131. Now if we subtract 131 from 5607, we get a perfect square. So 5607 minus 131 comes out to be 5476, and we have to find the square root of this. So square root of 5476 comes out to be 74, which you can find by using long division method. Next question says, find the least number that must be added to 1300 as to get a perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect number. So 1300 is again an even number, so make the pairs of 2 2. We know that 3 3s are 9 and remainder comes out to be 4. Bring down the other two zeros also downward. Now double the divisor, 3 doubles are 6. So finally 66 6 comes out to be 394 and remainder comes out to be 4. From here we can see that 36 square is less than 1300, and next square number is 37 square, which comes out to be 1369. So number to be added to get a perfect square is 1369 minus 1300, which comes out to be equal to 69, and square root of 1369 comes out to be 37. Next is the concept of square root of decimals. It is similar to how we find the square root of common numbers. So first of all, we put the bars on the pair of decimal part and put the bars on the integral part. So we have example as 17.64. Put the bar in pairs of 64 as well as on 17. The leftmost bar is on 17, and we know that 4 square is less than 17 is less than 5 square. So we get 4 square. So 4 4s are 16. Now take this number as divisor and the number on the leftmost bar as dividend. Divide and get the remainder. So 4 4s are 16 and remainder comes as 1. Now the remainder is 1. Now write the number under the next bar to the right of this remainder. So bring 64 down to get the final remainder as 164. Next step is double the divisor and enter it with a blank on the right. So 4 double is 8, and right on the right hand side of it enter a blank. Now since 64 is decimal part, put decimal part in the quotient. So quotient becomes 4 point. Now next step is, we know that 82's 2's are 164, which we need. Finally divide and get the remainder. So 82 2's are 164 and finally remainder comes as 0. So square root of 117.64 comes out to be equal to 4.2. Now there is another concept also, which says in a square of n digits, then its square root will have n by 2 digits if n is even, or n plus 1 by 2 digits if n is odd. Now let's solve exercise 6.4. First question says, find the square root of 2304. So we know that first make the pairs 0, 4 as 1, 2, 3 as 1. So largest possible is 4 4s are 16 and 23 minus 16 remainders comes as 7. Next step, we know that bring down the part on the right hand side 0, 4. So now remainder becomes 704. Now next step is double the divisor and make it as the next divisor. So 4 2s becomes 8. Next step is we know that 88 8s are 704. Finally remainders comes as 0. So square root of 2304 becomes 48. Next part is find the square root of 900. So first of all make the pairs 2 zeros as one pair and 1 9 as one pair with a bar. So now we know that 3 3s is equal to 9. So bring remainder as zeros. Next step is double the divisor and bring it as the new divisor. So 3 2s are 6 and 60 zeros are 0. Finally the remainder becomes 0 and the square root of 900 comes out to be equal to 30. Next question says find the number of digits in the square root of each of the following numbers without any calculation. This is the concept of if the number has even number of digits, then the number of digits in the square root would be n by 2, and if the number of digits of the number is odd, then the square root have n plus 1 by 2 digits. That concept we are going to use in this question. So here is 64. Number of digits are 2. So number of digits in square root would be n by 2. So 2 by 2 comes out to be 1. So in the square root there would be 1 digit. Next part says 4 4 8 9. So number of digits is 4, that is even. So there would be n by 2, that is 4 by 2 digits in the square root of the number. So there would be 2 digits in the square root of 4 4 8 9. Next question says find the square root of the following decimal numbers. First part says 2.56. So first of all make the pairs. First from the unit digits we get 56 as one pair and 2 as a single pair. So we know that 1 1s are 1 and 2 minus 1 comes 1. Now bring down the remaining part, that is 5 6 downwards. Now as 5 6 is the decimal part, so put the decimal part in the quotient. So the quotient becomes 1 point. Now next part is double the divisor. So 1 2s comes 2 and 26 6 comes out to be 156. So square root of 2.56 comes out to be 1.6. Now next part is 51.84. Similarly, first we will make the pairs as 8 4 as 1 and 5 1 as one pair. Now we know that 7 7 comes out to be 49 and 51 minus 49 comes out to be 2. Now bring down the other part also downwards. So 8 4 is on the right hand side. So bring it down and it is the decimal part. So put the decimal part on the quotient. So final quotient now becomes 7 point. Now double the divisor and make it as the new divisor. So 7 2s comes out to be 14 and 142 2s comes out to be 284. So new square root of 5184 comes out to be 7.2. Next question says, find the least number which must be subtracted from each of the following numbers so as to get a perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square, so obtain. So first let's find the square root of the given number, which is 402. Now we know that how to find the square roots. So first make the pair 0, 2 as 1 and 4 as a single. So we know that the largest possible comes out to be 2 2s are 4. Bring down the remainder 4 minus 4 0 and left out part 0 2 also the remainder. So final remainder comes out to be 0 2. Now double the divisor, which becomes 2 2s are 4 and final remainder comes out to be 2. Now the question said what must be least subtracted. So we know that we must subtract 2 from 402 to get a perfect square. So 402 minus 2 becomes equal to 400. Next step, we have to find the square root of the 400, which we can find as I have told how to find the square root of the numbers. So square root of 400 comes out to be equal to 20. Next part says 1989. So on finding the square root of 1989, we get the finally as the remainder as 53. So 53 must be subtracted from 1989 so as to get a perfect square. And 1989 minus 53 comes out to be 1936. And we have to also find the square root of 1936, which we can find using the long division method. So square root of 1936 comes out to be finally equal to 44. Next question says, find the least number which must be added to each of the following numbers so as to get a perfect square. Also find the square root of the perfect square, so obtain. So let's find the square root of the number, which is 525. So on finding the square root of 525, we get the quotient as 22 and remainder as 41. So we have to add something. So we know that 22 square is less than 525 is less than 23 square. So next square is 23 square, which is perfect. So 23 square comes out to be equal to 529. So what must be added? 4 must be added to 525 to get perfect square. So finally 525 plus 4 comes out to be 529. We also have to find the square root of 529, which you can find. So square root of 529 comes out to be equal to 23. Now let's see question number 6, which says, find the length of side of square whose area is 441 meters square. So we know that area is equal to length into length. So length square would be equal to area and length would be equal to square root of area, which would be equal to square root of 441. Now we have to find the square root of 441, which you can find using the division method. Solving that, you get the square root of 441 finally as 21. So length of the side would be equal to 21 meter. Next question says, in right triangle ABC, angle B is equal to 90 degree. If AB equal to 6 centimeter, BC is equal to 8 centimeter, find AC. So you can see the triangle AB equal to 6 centimeter, BC is equal to 8 centimeter, angle B is equal to 90 degree, and we have to find AC. So let AC is equal to X. So using the Pythagoras theorem, AC square would be equal to AB square plus BC square. So X square would be equal to 6 square plus 8 square. X square would be equal to 36, thus 84. X square finally comes out to be equal to 100. So X comes out to be equal to square root of 100, which we know that is equal to 10. So AC equal to X comes out to be equal to 10 centimeter. Next question says, a gardener has 1000 plants. He wants to plant these in such a way that the number of rows and the number of columns remains same. Find the minimum number of plants he need more for this. So let number of rows equal to number of plants, which is given in the question, equal to X. So number of rows into number of plants columns would be equal to 1000, which is we have let as X. X square equal to 1000, and X comes out to be equal to square root of 1000. On finding the square root of 1000, we get the coefficient as 31 and remainder as 39. Now we know that 31 square would be equal to less than 1000 would be less than 32 square. So we have to add more plants. So next possible perfect square is 32 square. So which is 1024. So 1024 minus 1000 comes out to be equal to 24. So 24 more plants are needed more for this. Finally, the last question of exercise 6.4. It says there are 500 children in a school. For a PT drill, they have to stand out in such a manner that number of rows is equal to number of columns. How many children would be left out in this arrangement? So let number of rows we know that are equal to number of columns equal to X. So X square would be equal to 500 and X would be equal to square root of 500. So on using the division method, we get the square root of 500 with the remainder as 16. Hence 16 children would be left out in this arrangement. So this finishes our chapter number 6, that is square and square root. If you have not watched the previous videos, kindly go and watch them and complete them. So that's it for today. So kindly like, share and subscribe the channel and videos. That's it for today. Thank you so much.